Good morning, good morning. It is Rose and Sanjay with Motivation Station. Rose, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Sanjay.
How are you?
Ah, I'm grateful to be alive today because yesterday I thought it's gonna be the last day.
What
I'm not
happened?
lying.
Everything okay? What
I
happened?
had a heart issue. I started puking and my left arm was tingling and my pressure went up 144 to 98 and yeah, it was a moment.
Just like out of the blue? Like what exactly happened?
I believe it happened. It has happened out of the blue, but I believe it happened accumulating stress.
Hmm. Okay.
It's been very stressful year for me, and
Yeah.
I needed to take it easy. And this morning I had my vintage Saturday. I made my first. I actually pulled out the juicer out of my storage, and it was brand new. Never used it. I said, let me use it. I made some fresh squeezed orange juice. I made homemade crepes with berries and bananas. So it was a great breakfast. So I'm grateful.
Mm. Well, I'm happy it wasn't worse. I didn't even know that happened. I'm sorry that you went through that, but I'm glad that, like you said, I'm glad you're okay and still
Oh,
around.
yes, thank you.
And not only that, you're rocking the motivation station shirt that finally
Yes,
came in. It only took so long, and
so excited. And the
I'm
best
doing the
part
same.
is,
I'm doing the same.
yes,
But
and the
I
best
think,
part is it has a skin me in the back.
yep, I think the
So
the the one that you're wearing is the
not
more
scannable.
no, that's the more official one. Mine was the prototype
Oh,
where
okay.
motivation station is written kind of shifted and the back scanning wasn't working. Because I have a shirt
Oh,
that wasn't he gave me for free because he didn't print it right. And I have the hoodie, but I don't know where the hoodie is. But
okay,
I'll
but
have to
I
look it up.
love the cheek cup in the back of it.
Yes, yeah. So I gotta re-edit that icon so then we can put it on more things because now we have a Facebook and things like that. Because I think that one just points at actually, I think that one points at our YouTube channel and it points at our Facebook page, but it doesn't
Oh,
point at our
that's
Spotify.
lovely.
So
Okay.
yeah, I got to update it. Bonjour, Morgan. Thank you for joining
Bonjour,
us today.
Morgan.
Um,
Yeah.
I'll have to rename the episode because ironically, we didn't even get a chance to connect before this. It's been a very busy week, and then you went through your situation that you went through there, and I named the episode Sanjay's Dilemma because I actually wanted to talk about stuff that I'm going through and I could use some advice. But I
Yep.
guess I'll change it to our dilemma because apparently we've both through been through some stuff. But I mean, we'll get to that in a second there. But I mean, I know you went through your situation there, and it was
Yes. What
stressful.
happened is, so I decided to do a 3-day fasting. I know exactly how to
Mm,
fast. It wasn't something that I'm new to it, so I said for 1 week I was doing clean eating,
mm-hmm,
and I've been using Home Chef. It's pretty good. I like it, and it was a clean eating. It was pretty good, and then I gradually went to fasting. First day was amazing. First day it's always like you don't know, but where are you? Like
mm-hmm,
you kind of like, oh, maybe I'm hungry, maybe I'm not. You kind of still have food left over from the other days, and you okay. And towards the evening, you kind of start like, okay, make sure you're drinking a lot of water while you're doing that, and consult your doctor.
mm,
Obviously, don't take my word for it. And then the second day is the best day. It's when you crave everything. You want pizza, you want burger, you want ice cream. That's the second day of fasting.
mm,
It's it's normal. On the second day, towards the end, you're kind of feeling already like a hungry. You want everything in life. It kind of happens in the first, probably first. part of the second day, and the second part of the second day you're already good.
Mm,
You already know that you're fasting. You know that you're not eating no burger, pizza, or ice cream, and there is no coffee. You're withdrawing from sugar if you're a sugar person. You're withdrawing from coffee. I'm a coffee drinker, so you have a massive headache, which is totally normal, right? So everything was normal. But towards the second day, which was yesterday, today was supposed to be a third day, and I felt not good. I was
mm,
like, this is something new because fasting doesn't do that for you. Fasting it shows you which organs are looking for attention.
mm,
And now I definitely know what's looking for my attention. It's
mm,
my engine.
mm,
So, which means I need to throw some cardio in there. I need to stress less and I need to, do things that brings me joy more and things like that. So it's a good reflection and I'm glad it happened. You know why? Because now I know what not to do. Now I know what to do. And,
No, that's good. I mean,
this is my
sometimes
fasting journey that
you know,
yeah.
honestly, with like with throwing up or anything that's happening with that with your body, in a way, it's a good sign because it's rejecting something in your body that's like it needs to get out immediately. Like you need to get out. You know. Um, Interesting enough, I appreciate the way you say that because I used to drink a lot, right? I used to drink a lot. I used to go out with our mutual friend a lot, and then just even not without even just without him, I would just go out and I would go drink, and I would drink a good amount, right? And I'm pretty sure like I probably don't have the healthiest liver, right? But I know now if I drink more than like my body can take, like I can feel the rejection coming. Like I can feel like okay, I'm gonna throw up, right? Ironically, I can still like kind of control it. So if I want to throw up, like I can choose to throw up, and I'm like, oh, you know what, I can't drink like this anymore. So I kind of took a step back and kind of cooled down a little bit with that. But the fact that like especially when you do fasting, the dangerous part to fasting, it's kind of like not the dangerous part, the way you're doing it, I should say, because it's like people who smoke and then they're like, you know what, I'm gonna stop smoking, and they just
Cold
go.
turkey.
Exactly, they just drop it, right? And your body just doesn't react the same way. Now some people can do it, some people can't, right? It takes, for some people you have to work your way up. You got to do maybe less cigarettes, maybe eat more, but like eat more healthy food but less amount, or things like that. So I get where you're coming from. I tried a few times doing cold turkey things and it didn't work for me, right? um and you like once your body gets through it though. So I'm sure you've done it before, but you've done keto? Have you done keto before?
What it is I wasn't a cold turkey. I actually did gradually made it to fasting because I practiced fasting for a long time and I as a health coach I know how to gradually, so that's why I was for a week I took everything out and it was only clean eating. But I did have coffee. So
Did you ever have coffee on an empty stomach?
no, usually I have water first
Okay.
in the
Yeah, yeah,
morning.
yeah. First thing in the morning,
Yeah,
water. But even
I
if you have
go
water and
to
then coffee, technically that's not good either. Because
yes,
like coffee, you
you're
shouldn't be
supposed to
having. Yeah.
have it.
And
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I mean, I'm not like you know more about health than I do at that point. But the thing is, like, I just know, like, for example, I brought up like keto, for example, because sometimes I'll jump on the keto diet, and then my body has to adjust to the fact that I'm on keto
Yeah,
diet. So
keto it's
like 3 4 days in, I'll feel sick, I'll feel ill, like as if I got a cold, and it's just part of the keto, like keto, whatever it's called, keto flu or whatever. But once you get past it, you should do a little bit better. So even though your body kind of just went through this shock, I mean, going forward, I think it should be doing a little bit better. Like for me, it was always the issue was always the consistency. So it's hard to do, and I think that's why I wanted to talk about what I called Sanjay's dilemma today, because and then we'll get to all that. But just because like it's the issue, and we brought it up in previous podcasts where the issue was just consistency. Like I have the utmost faith that we can do it. I fully believe we can do stuff, right? But then life throws us curveballs, and then we don't know how to handle things, and then like we'll stress, and then that stress will throw us off the path that we want to stay on, right? So um what I wanted to ask you going forward now, like I know you've kind of went through this moment here, like do you at least feel less stressed? Like, do you still, or do you feel like the same amount of stress?
What it is, let me see. Are we seeing chat? Because I don't see chat. Oh, what happened?
Megan's here. Everyone's saying hello.
Hello. Um, I don't see the green. Who is in green? Because for some reason it's chat. Let me just get to the.
Your show's, yeah.
Okay, Megan is here. Okay, hello, Megan. Um, um, let's get back to your question. From now moving forward, everything is definitely we as we know, cortisol, which is hormone of stress, when it's up, it needs to be released in the morning. That's why people work out in the morning because
Mm-hmm.
it releases at 6:30 a.m. and you need to let it all out, right? And and if it's accumulating, it's really not really healthy for you. You could do a test, find out what's your level of cortisol because stress is definitely affects our organs.
Yeah.
Am I stressing more or am I stressing less? It's not that. It's certain things that happen this year. Even the situation, my mom going, my cousins going, dog is going, situation with RK, situation at Ferraro, just overall situation. What's this? How is this? And of course we need to slow down. Of course we have to tell ourselves, just relax, meditate more. And I do meditate. I do meditate. I do grateful practices. It's just something shows me there's always a lesson. Everything
Mm-hmm.
that's happened, there's always a lesson, right? What can I do more? I need
Mm-hmm.
to get back on walking. I need to get back on uh, lifting because it's really good for your heart. I need to get back on putting more green juice, right? So, which is very essential for your heart. Today, I made freshly squeezed orange juice. Orange juice is really good for your heart as well. So, just adding those values and just try to your your tone of voice, right? When your tone of voice go up, you automatically let your stress go up, right? It's like flight or fight mode in your back of your head. We call it a beta. And if you're constantly on a flight and fight mode, your stress level is always up. So making sure your stress level on a healthy level, which is 30%. That's it. It's just constantly watching. Am I reacting? I need to slow down. What am I doing? Am I doing things with love and joy? Because this releases different hormones. We need to release more dopamine. We need to release more. We're talking about good dopamine, not the cheap one. Scrolling, it's a cheap one, right? We need to add more things that make us happy, endorphins and serotonin, and all the good mood hormones will help you to lower your stress.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
I was gonna say, to back up a little bit. Did you say something about the dog?
Dopamine?
Oh no, I
No,
thought
I
you
did
said
not
something with
say.
dogs. So I don't know if you meant Nala. I didn't know
Now,
something.
Nala is stressing me out to the roof.
No, well, yeah, obviously, that's just the child thing.
she,
Oh no, no, because I thought you
she
said dog, so I
is.
thought like something happened to Nala. So I was like, wait a
Oh my
minute,
god,
what?
no, she decided to eat the two raw chickens that I was cooking. She
Oh,
decided to steal it from the counter, eat them all. She
as
was the
as
last piece towards my episode last night.
as children do, technically, so to speak. So I get that. No, but I agree with you that like you're absolutely right when it comes to uh like stress, like just like affecting your, well, like like you said, if you're in that fight or flight mode, like it really does like get to you. And the thing for me was like it really did put me into that mode. So like that's a lot of what has been happening on my end. And like I said, well, mine goes pretty deep, so I will get to my story
Let's
in a
talk
little bit.
about your dilemma. Let's go.
But no, but like I mean, definitely want to focus on you. I mean, I like there's there's a lot going on, and I think what started helping me more was this, it's just stuff like, it's not even like accepting what's beyond your control, right? You just kind of
Mhm.
like if there's something happening in your life that you have no control over, like wha- it's hard to tell your brain, to not stress about it. But as of late, I've been trying to fight that and just say like, there's things happening in my life right now that like I can't do anything for. Like I can't do anything. Like it's beyond my control. It's not me. It's an outside thing. So it's like, for a while it was stressing me, and even my coworkers were like, you can't let it stress you. And I'm like, in a way, inadvertently, it does affect me, just not directly. It comes back to bite me in a different way, and that's why I would stress about it, right? But then, towards the end of the week, I was just like, you know what? Like, I can't do anything. If this is the way it's gonna be, I gotta do what I can do, and that's it, right? So let's go into story time now for me, right? So
Story time.
I used to work for a contracting company where I think I mentioned this before. I was just bored with work, like it was just too boring for me. They were paying me well, but I'm like, I wasn't motivated. Like we'd had our podcast. It was like during the summer, I was like, we had our podcast and all that stuff, but like I just didn't want to do anything. Like I made good money, but it's like, what am I gonna do with it? Like I wasn't motivated to work, and because I wasn't motivated to work, I wasn't motivated to do anything outside of work. Go home, just chill, play games, do nothing. And I wanted to go to the gym and I wanted to do a bunch of things, but I was just like, I was just not happy, like I wasn't like, I'm the I tell people all the time, money isn't everything, and that was just proof to me that like, look, I'm making good money, but I'm just not happy, right? No, I had no problem with people at work. I had no problem with like my management. I had no problem with anything. I just wasn't happy with myself. So I decided to take a leap for a position that opened up for me, which I should have known it was a red flag, because the way it had approached me was that I did an interview for the job, right? And it was such a vague interview, and they liked me, which, come on, I'm not gonna toot my own here, but it's hard to not like me, right? But like during the interview, the guy was just like, oh, you kind of fit everything you need. I'm not gonna ask you any technical questions because I think you're okay. And the only thing he asked me is like, oh, can you do like documentation? And I'm like, I can make my own documents. I haven't done any official documents, but I can update stuff. And like, okay, that's good. So the job was what I wanted, because like, so what I do in IT is called desktop support. So it's like, if you need help, instead of you calling me and I help you over the phone, I come up to you and I come
Mhm.
to your desk and I help you out. I like doing that more because it makes it more personable. And I like people get to know you a little bit better. Like they'll talk to you, they get to know you, stuff like that, right? So fast forward 2 months. Now everyone at the job likes me, right? Like everybody at the actual client I work for like me. The manager that works there really likes me, right? I've just been butting heads with my direct management because they gave me a role, right? And they called it a team lead. But they're having me do more than a team lead does. But the other part is like, I'm holding down the fort in the office. We have other team members who are like remote and they're doing phone support and they're struggling, right? And I'm trying
Mhm.
to be there to be a backbone for them, to help them. So whenever they're on a call, they have issues, they're like, hey Sanjay, how do I do this? What can I do for this? I'm like, I got you, let me answer, right? But now it's getting to the point that I'm doing their job, I'm doing my job, and I'm doing more for my management. And I'm like, I don't have the time to do all this, right? When I brought up these concerns to my management, they told me, you just have to work harder. And I was like, I don't understand how hard I can possibly work beyond this, right? The client that I'm working for even said during a meeting, like, I understand what you want, but Sanjay can't deliver all that unless you have a game plan for him to do it. And the entire time for about 2 weeks now, they're like, "Do you have a plan?" And my management's response was, "He just has to do it. He just has to find the time to do it." And I'm like, "I can't. I cannot find the time to do it." So when I said that, you know what they told me? They told me that I'm not worthy of my position. So I was like, "All right, hold up. I'm literally the backbone of this infrastructure right now, and you're telling me I'm not good enough." Right? And I was like, that kind of burns. But here's the thing, I'm not going to be petty and go back to them and be like, F you, I'm going to leave and blah, blah, blah. Right? But I was just like, I'm going to support the team the best I can, but I'm now 1 foot out the door. Like, I don't want to be disrespected at work. I feel like I do a good job. I try to support my team. I try to lean on them to do a little bit more work on one end while I take the other end. And if that's still not enough, I don't know what more I can do. So for 2 weeks, and when I say every day I go to work, Rose, I was being yelled at by this management every day going to work. They're just like, "You're not giving us what we need. You're not delivering what you need. You're not joining our meetings." And I'm like, it is so busy right now at work that I can't do anything. I can just work, do the little I can, and then go home. Right. And it's so bad that I would go home and then try to work again. Right? There's days I skipped lunch. There's days where I came home and yeah, I came home and I continued to work, right? There's days I came home and like my wife was sick the last week. She was sick a few days. So I was helping my wife put my daughter to sleep because I was like, I don't want you to hold my daughter while you're sick, because then if you get her sick, she gets me sick and I can't afford to get sick right now. So I was like, I'll put my daughter to sleep. Rose, I would put her to sleep and then I would fall asleep. So at like 8:30, 9 o'clock,
Cause you're
I'm falling.
tired.
Yeah, because I'm just exhausted. I just knock out. And the people are like, even Morgan, I told Morgan this. I was like, Morgan, like, I wanted to play games because I like playing games for me is how I de stress, or, sitting on my computer. And she's like, "Oh, but that sleep must have been good." And I'm like, "It wasn't. I feel so restless. Like, I might have slept for like 9, 10, 11 hours, but I don't feel any better. In fact, I just feel like I lost more now." Right. So I was explaining that to her. So long story short, these things all started adding up, right? And I'm man enough to admit that I probably bit off more than I can chew, but I don't think it's my fault of where I'm at, right? So here's the dilemma I'm going through. So my team is just like, hang on, because after a certain date, the certain management is no longer going to be part of our project. And that management is the one that keeps yelling at me, right? Now, the other management is the one I report to, and he's not even in the picture so much. And I don't think he knows anything. So if he comes and has a meeting with me, I don't even think he knows what to talk about. Like, I don't think he knows anything that's going on because the other part of management was holding it down, right? So I was like, all right, so I might have more control and maybe I can explain the situation and explain my ideas, right? So in the time that this other management is leaving, my direct team started having fights with each other. And I was like because like they're both remote and they were talking, and there was a miscommunication, right? And I wasn't at the desk to be like, yo, calm down, yo, talk, right? Because I'm working, I'm doing my thing I have to do. And I come back to see this, and one of my coworkers just signs off. He just signs off. He doesn't finish his whatever he was doing. He just signed off. He stopped talking to any of us. I saw him offline. I tried to text him, nothing, no response, right? I waited a few hours. I was like, I didn't hear anything from him, right? And I'm a team lead, okay? So team lead means I kind of like look out for after my team as I work and stuff like that, right? But this part I didn't feel was part of a team lead position, okay? But what had happened was I went to my manager and I was like, hey, and the worst part was all this happened in our main chat. So our management saw this argument. They didn't like come in and resolve or talk or anything. They just saw the. I don't even know if they saw the chat, but it was in the chat for them to view, right? And I reached out to my manager and I was like, "Hey, I don't know if you noticed the chat, but two of our guys just had a big fight and one guy signed off, and I don't think he's online anymore." And he's like, "He signed off in the middle of the shift." I'm like, "Again, I don't know if you saw the chat, but yeah, if you look now, he's been offline for 3 hours, right?" And he's like, oh, did you reach out to him? I was like, well, I messaged him. And he's like, well, you should get his phone number and call him. And I'm like, that's I don't think that's my job. That's your job as a manager to find out what happened, because this him signing off is beyond my control. I'm not gonna go chase him. I have my own things to do. You're the manager, right? But he was like, and then he comes back to me and he goes, Sanjay, like, this is your responsibility. Like, if something like this happens, you got to find out why he signed off. And I'm like, I'm not a babysitter. I'm not your man. I'm not his manager. Like, that's your job. I don't know what happened. And then Friday, right? So this happened Thursday. Friday, he still didn't sign back on. And even worse so, he works the later shift. So now we're a guy short closing. And I stayed a little bit longer than I needed to make sure that my guys are covered. Right. So I covered my part there and I told him and I was like, hey, I texted him. I didn't hear back. And he's like, okay, well, I'll follow up. Right. All the while, my management should be working with the client, telling them, hey, we noticed that our team member's not online. We're trying to follow up to see what happened. No one followed up with my client. My client didn't know that that guy was offline until I said something. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is all beyond my responsibility. So you guys are playing roles with me that don't fit what you call me. Like, I'm not a manager, right? Like, if you want me to be a manager, pay me like a manager, treat me like a manager, right? But you putting me on meetings every day, yelling at me, telling me I'm not doing enough work, you don't even know what my day is like. They look at it at a very surface level. So all the while, so a lot of that stress is coming from that, and I know you're understanding why that stress is happening, right?
Yeah.
So all the while that's happening, and my team is just like, yo, these guys are gonna go away. Like, well, one person's gonna go away, the other person will be here. But after that interaction with my manager, where he was like, this is my responsibility, I was like, even after the other management leaves and my guy comes and kind of is in the picture again, I don't know how much help he's gonna be. I don't even know if he's gonna be as like he might be worse than like the person that left. You know, so I'm kind of worried about it because my team is just like, oh, just let it be, just let it be. But I'm like, it's gonna come back and burn me because all this happening, they're gonna blame me. They're gonna be like, Sanjay, why didn't you step in? Sanjay, why didn't you uh, de-escalate the situation? Sanjay, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And I'm like, I'm doing everything else. And you know what? Here's the sad part, Rose. When I flip the role and I start supporting my team, right, and I start doing more for them, I'll do more documentation. I'll make sure they're set. Then I get yelled at for not doing enough work. It's a lose-lose situation no matter what way I look at it, right? So my saving grace is a few things, right? So this is all the negative stuff, which, as you can solve for me talking for like the last like 5 to 10 minutes, that's all the negative shit, right? Going to work every day, like we're past the age that with COVID, people, some jobs still do hybrid, so you do some days homes, but a lot of jobs are going back to the 5 days a week in the office again, right? So I'm not gonna argue that, like that's just life, right? So I've gotten over it, and I'm kind of going through that. But that was a downside. But like I said, now that's gone. I like my team. Outside of the little nuances that they've had, they're very cool people. They're very down to earth. I can joke with them. I can make I can make inappropriate jokes with them. It doesn't matter. Like we all get along very well. I get along with the team that we're supposed to be replacing. So at the job I'm at now, they're actually letting go some people to replace them with us. But the thing is, I get along with them. So it's kind of like a weird thing, but like I was like, I don't care, I'm cool with them. And the client manager likes me a lot. He likes the way I hold myself, the way I approach myself, the way I support my team, the way I talk. He knows that there's a lot on my shoulders. He's defended. One day, when I was getting yelled at, he was on the call when I was getting yelled at, right? And I had like the client had asked, like, he's like, how do you guys feel about how you're doing, right? So my management asked me, they're like, if the other team went away, could we take over the role, right? Could we do their job, right? And you know what I said? I gave the most honest answer. I said, no, we're not ready. I was like, we're not ready. I was like, I'm not trying to speak negative about the situation, but I'm not going to lie to you and say we're ready and some shit go wrong and then I get yelled at. right? But I got yelled at anyway. But when I said I wasn't ready, right after we finished our meeting, that she had my management had me stick around, and she was like, "Why did you say that? You gave our clients such negative thoughts now. Like now they feel so negative about us." I was like, I didn't do shit. I kept it real with the client, and the client knew that I kept it real, right? And like they just yelled at me like, now you have a vote of no confidence in our work. Like, how does that make us look? You made us look terrible. You made us look awful. Like this is your fault. If things don't work out, it's your fault. And I just sat there and I just listened. I was like, whatever, right? And after that, it was the end of the day. I started driving home, right? And like I started thinking, like, am I really the bad guy? Like, did I really fuck up that bad? On the way home, 6:30, right? My shift ends at 5. 6:30, I'm driving home. I'm driving through traffic, which I hate, but whatever, right? The client calls me. The client manager calls me, and he's like, "Hey man, like I hope I didn't put you on the spot when I asked that question." But he's like, "Honestly, the answer you gave was the answer I felt." So he's like, I told him, I was like, I didn't say we're ready because I was like, if I said we were ready and then some work happened that we did something terribly wrong or we fell beyond on, and you came back to me and you said, Sanjay, you said you were ready. Guess who gets yelled at? And he's like, yeah, it would be you. And I was like, exactly. Like, I'm not going to lie to my client. I'm not going to lie. Like, we're not ready. There's stuff we can use to improve, but we're not ready. And when I said that, and I went back to my management, I was like, I didn't say that in a vote of no confidence. I was just like, we're not ready. Like there's so much we have to improve on. I didn't get to train anybody. I didn't, they still need a lot of help. They still need a lot of hand holding. And I was like, I just was telling the truth. And she's like, like, I don't know, like she just gave me a lot of BS about it, right? So, like, over and over again, I'm getting defended by my client because they're just like, why isn't your management doing this? And I'm like, I asked them the same questions. And I was like, you know what they say to me? They say to me, why can't I do it? And I'm like, it's not on me to do it. Like, I don't understand what's happening, right? So for the longest time, I was stressing about management, and now they're gone, right? So that manager person is out of my hair, right? But now my team had a fight, so I don't know what's happening with that because the guy stopped responding for 2 days now. So I got to take over his work. So now I have more work on my plate. Um, and outside of like, so sorry. So the good things, to go back to good things, I like my team, and honestly, they're paying me very well for what I'm doing there. Like what I'm actually working on and what I'm doing, I'm giving the proper support. And like I like it because sometimes it's very unorthodox, and that's just the way I work. Like if I see something doesn't work a certain way, I'll be like, well, we could do it this way. I'm not too happy about doing it this way, but if it works for you, it works for me. And they're like, yeah, it works for all of us. I'm like, all right. And then we come fix it later. And my client likes the way that I work because like a lot of people come back happy with me. I don't think there has been a user that came back to my client saying Sanjay did bad work. The rest of my team has gotten a lot of flack. They get emailed, like the users that they support have emailed my client manager, and they're like, who are these people? Why can't they do their job? And stuff like that, right? It got so bad that one of my team members had to call the user like 2 or 3 times and they didn't fix it. And then when I called, the user was like, oh, thank God it's you. And I'm like, that's very bad to say for a client to have worked with my team. And then like they know who I am because I've helped them before. And now they reach out to me like, hey, Sanjay, who has this ticket? And I'm like, oh, my teammate has it. They're like, oh, can you help me real quick? Or like, are you busy? And I'm like, I am busy, but I'll try to do what I can. But like, it shouldn't be that way, right? So I'm like, what more can I do for my team to support them? And I'm trying my best to support them. But a lot of my team is like, I don't want to do this level of troubleshooting. So all this started hitting this week, right? But outside of me liking my team and the pay being really good, and when I say really good, the reason I say it like this is because I got another job offer, right? So the job offer is back in New York, right? The thing with New York is I want to work in New York. I love working in New York. 5 days a week in New York kind of sucks, but I like New York. I like going there. I like the hustle and bustle. I like getting lost. I like that I can finish work and just fucking go. It's New York. I know you know New York, right? So I like New York.
I love
The
you.
the job offer I have in New York is for like essentially the same position but not a lead, just a desktop support, right? And I can work my way up to be a lead is what the, the recruiter is saying, right? The thing is, the pay is significantly, not significantly, it's exceptionally less, right? But the opportunity is greater. If that makes sense to you, then I won't explain it further. But I think you understand that the pay is less, but the opportunity is better. Okay. And like that was one of the things I've been going back and forth on. So between, I know there's viewers watching, Morgan, Megan, if you guys are still around, if anybody else is around, please chime in because I would love some advice. But the opportunity is better, right? The commute's the same, except the commute to me is better because I'm not driving to work. I'm taking the bus, I'm taking the subway. That's it. Whereas here, I'm driving. I gotta take the tolls. I gotta fill gas. I gotta put oil change in my car when the time comes. So
So it's
it's
even out
yeah.
pay wise.
It doesn't. It actually doesn't even out. Taking public transport works out for me more, right? So I'll put it this way, right? And this is just not truthful, fully full numbers, but it's a rough estimate, right? $50 a week it costs me for gas. Because like, me being my fancy car person that I am, $50 a week it costs, right? So $200 for gas just for the month. Now I give a colleague a ride to work, so he helps me here and there. So I'll say 150 because he'll pay for 1 week and I'll pay for three, right? Um, tolls. Tolls can go anywhere from $2 to $4. So per one way, so that would be what, $4 to $6 per day, right? Per day. So that's an extra. We'll just say $5 even. We'll say $25 a week. So 200 plus 25, right? And then wear and tear on my car, right? So over the course of, I think the last time I did the oil change was a month and a half ago. So then it's like $60 every month and a half for an oil change, right? Um, so we're looking at, with wear and tear, like maybe 280, 290 per month driving, right? But I'm being paid a good amount. I'm being paid significantly more. Now, if I work in the city, it would maybe be like 220, 230 because I would take a subway. I mean, I would take the bus, which I get discounted prices because I got the disability ones. But I do have
Okay.
to take a subway, which is, I think it's an even 235 every time. So that's like $5 too. Um, so it
And you
does.
get a pass, which
Yeah.
won't
Well,
cost you
the
more.
pass does give discounts, but it doesn't give it for like disability. It'll be for if you do it monthly or weekly or monthly, you'll get it, but it doesn't do it for monthly for disability, which is fine, right? But the thing is, I don't have to drive. If I take public transport, I just throw on my headphones, listen to some music. I could listen to the podcast, which is what I was doing when I took the train, right? And I would just chill, ride to work, and be okay. This one, I have to drive. I have to be in stop and go traffic. I got to make sure no one cuts me off and kills me or anything like that, right? So I got to be wary about it. Um, the like I said, and the time commute's the same. The job is a little bit less stress, right? And I think like the job, like I've talked to Morgan about it too, and I'm sure you'll agree that like when I'm at work, work is work. You do your work there, you finish what you can, you carry on whatever you can, right? You bring it to the next day, stuff like that. You don't bring work home. You don't bring work home, right? And that's one thing I've been doing with this job that I've been doing a lot. I bring work home. I stress about work when I get home. I come home and I'm like, I have so much work to do. How am I gonna handle it tomorrow? You know? Whereas
Hmm.
like other jobs, like this other job that I talked about now, I did two interviews, two rounds of interviews, and like I think they like me, like with my personality and stuff like that. And they asked me like my experience and stuff. I think they'll let me know next week if I get the job or not, right? And if I get it, I'll personally tell you what it is. And I think you might have heard of the place. I'm not going to say it on the podcast, but I'll tell you what it is. And there's I think if I work there, I get discounts for stuff. I'll hook you up with things, but I'll tell you about it afterward. Um, but like like I just thought about it. Like I feel like it'd be a little bit more peaceful, right? But here's the thing: I'm not gonna say how much
Okay.
I'm not gonna say how much money I'm making, right? But I will say that it is a night and day difference about how much I make per month, right? But the thing is, the money I'm making now is it's okay. I'll put it this way: it's not
Is it worth it?
it, not is it worth is it not that is it worth it, because to me right now, as of right now, as I talk about it, the worth is I'd rather take the new job, right? Because I think it'll bring me peace, right? But here's the thing: with the money I'm making with this job versus the new job, like I said, it's night and day difference. But it's not at a point that if I take the new job, that I'm gonna struggle financially. Because I know we were talking about for like the last few months, I've been going through some financial struggles, and I'm like, now I'm finally in the green, I'm finally good and stuff like that, right? But with this job that I'm currently at, it was a lot of extra money in my pocket. With that money, I can save more money. With saving more money, I can help repair my car. I'm trying to take my kid to Universal
Disney.
Studios in Hollywood in March, right? With the job I'm at now, I can make it happen. Right? By March, if I save my money properly, I can make it happen. I'm not saying that if I take this new job, I can't make it happen. It's just that I'll have to work on saving money better, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I have to just be smarter with my money. Whereas I'm not saying I'll be careless with my money with my job now, but like I'll have just extra money now, right? So it's like, is it worth it in that sense, right? Is it worth it that I struggle and just make a little bit more money and just keep riding through, or be at peace and just be smarter with my money and just, you know, be at
It's
peace?
not about how much you make, it's about how you spend your money, right?
It is both, right? Because the thing is, like, especially with the past financial situations, I'm catching up on bills. I'm catching up on things that have burned me in the past that this job was able to alleviate, right? Now I'm a little bit better to the point that, like, if I take, like, hypothetically, if I take the new job, I won't struggle with bills at all, right? I'll just have less money saved at the end of the month. Whereas this job, I don't struggle with either. Like, I mean, the struggle with the current job is just the job and the people and like whatever's happening at work, right? And the risk is that I don't know if this will be like this forever at my current job. It's definitely a struggle now. It'll be a struggle for the next few months, right? But I have a decent opportunity in front of me with the new job, right? And here's the thing with the new job is the recruiter that reached out to me, right? The recruiter that reached out to me was the most real fucking recruiter ever, because she was just like, look, like, obviously with the money situation, like, obviously money's important to people. You got to think about that. But this is what I have for you, right? And but she's like, honestly, Sanjay, like, you don't sound happy, and I think that's the problem. So
Yeah.
you can make whatever money you want, but you don't sound good, right? And she's like, I'm only presenting the opportunity. If you don't want to take it, just let me know, and we can move on from it, right? But like her, what how she talked to me about like everything, because the new opportunity, I can go full time with the company, get benefits, and make more money. But I'll be full time employee. With my current position, there's not really a full time employee. I just work for another company. That, like, if our project ends, which in 2 years it technically ends, they can move me to another project. But I don't even know if they'll hire me full time. But the thing is, if it's this stressful, I'm afraid to stay here. Because yeah, I'll make more money, right? I'll make more money. I'll have more money that I can give to my family. I'll have more money that I can take people out, but do stuff with money, right? But at what cost? At what cost, right? So if I'm super stressed, if I can't even manage my diet, I can't manage my health at home, I can't spend time with my family, right? There's days like I laid in bed and I started crying because I was just like, what the fuck do I do? Like, I don't know. And then you know what the worst part is? Because of my management and the way they fucking got under my skin, I'm just like, I don't think I'm good enough now. Like, they're making me feel like I'm not good enough for this position. And it really fucking sucks because I feel like I am. And I had this confidence. I've been like active. I've been happy. I've really been trying to go to the gym again too, which I have gone a few days, but it hasn't been enough. despite like some days I know I missed lunch and that's bad, I have been doing better on my diet. I've been craving sugar a lot less. I even though my kid has like a Halloween stash, I'm like, she'll be like, "Do you want one?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm okay. Like I don't want a piece of chocolate. I'm okay." Before I couldn't fight that. I'd just be like, "Give me five," you know? But now it's just like I can fight that temptation. And like things are getting better. But then like I just keep going back and forth because I I don't like being yelled at every day when I go to work when I feel like I'm doing
Yes.
fantastic. Like
That's
how do you
exactly how I felt in our case.
how like literally, so we do tickets, right? We do tickets at work, and one day I got praised for doing almost triple the amount of tickets that my team does, right? I got praised for doing that, but then I got yelled at for not doing documentation. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? You can't have me do everything. You like this isn't like put 100% into this, put 100% to that. Like I don't give me more time in the day or something. At this point, they can give me all the money. Here's the thing with this situation that they can be like, we'll give you $10 more to do all this, right? And I'll be like, you can give me all the money you can fucking give me, and I won't be able to do it. The problem isn't money. The problem is time. I can't spend the time to do this. And a lot of stuff is working
Hmm.
out at our job now because of the sacrifices I'm making. Me working after hours on weekdays, me working after hours on weekends, me being there for my team. I like I don't know if my team has told my management that like, hey, we work on tickets, but we ask Sanjay a lot of questions. Because I feel like if they say that, then it would make me not look good, but like it would show them that I'm doing a lot. But I feel like my team isn't defending me, and my team has recently put me on the spot, and they'd say, "Oh, this is a team lead um, thing to do. Like it's not my decision. Team lead should be doing this," and I'm like, say that to me directly. Don't say that in a chat with my management because now they're gonna look at me and be like, Sanjay, why am I not doing this? And me giving my reasons of why I can't do it is always that's not a good enough reason. So I'm actually pretty upset with my team about that. So I'm like, you guys need to defend me because I'm defending you, right? And I don't even mean that like I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Like this is a business. This is not. I'm not helping you because it's just a friendship. This is a business, and if this shit's gonna work, we all need to work together. So me defending you, you need to defend my actions as well, and they're not doing any of that. And I'm like, that's unfair. That's
Yeah,
unfair to me.
yeah. Sounds like there's no structure or proper manual of what each person should or should not be doing, and the communication is off.
So
That's what
they're
I'm
trying to
seeing here.
have they're trying to have everyone do everything, and I'm like, it doesn't work that way, especially at the beginning.
Now,
Also, real quick, Morgan, your comments are working. I'm sorry, I'm just not reading them. But you said, yeah, I say go for the trains, but that's because you love trains, so I know you. The comments are working, and you said, okay, I reloaded the page, and they are now working. Oh, you might not be seeing it on YouTube.
we have been having issues with chat lately. I
I
don't know if it's a YouTube thing, and
but the thing is, like, I know for like Gina, like she had super delayed comments, but even Morgan was telling me like her comments aren't that delayed. I'll have to look at it. I'll keep it open on my side. Um,
it might have to do something with Christine. Hi, Christine. Oh, she's such a sweet support. It's
uh,
if you stay at this current job, can you bring structure and communication? Like everyone has should be having a role,
what the heck? My wife is watching my
right?
stream. I
Yeah, of
was like, Chris,
course.
I
Christine, let's
my
go.
bad. Like I was
Let's
trying to set up the
go.
stream. I didn't even see that there was comments, and you're like Christine. I was
We
like,
need
Christine,
you.
who?
She's the
um,
wing of your shoulders.
So it's
And
funny. It's funny because and I appreciate Christine saying that. And I think we also had conversations about this in the past, right? So Christine and I, like, especially with work and stress, and like even she was saying sometimes I come home late. Sometimes she's just like, you're too disconnected, and it's not because I want to be, right? And the thing is, and I think I said this maybe before on the podcast when things weren't like like no one's perfect, me and my wife, we go through our trials and we do our best to do what we can, right? And I remember we were talking and I told her that I remember in the past, right, especially when she's seen me at my lowest, she's seen me at at jobs where like I was just so stressed out, right? And she always used to say like, no matter what, we'll figure it out. And I think as of lately, I haven't been hearing that as much. And I'm not putting her on the spot. I'm not saying that she wasn't being supportive or anything like that. She worried about me a lot, but like I know she also like knew that I can get through stuff. But her saying right now, I've always said we'll figure it out no matter what, and being happy is more important. The being happy is always more important than the money. And I agree, but that's the other part that I'm fighting, right? Because like okay, I do my best to provide as much as I humanly can for like my family, right? So I want to make sure I have money in my account. Like I know it's silly for me to say,
It's
but
important for a man. Yeah, it's a man thing
it's
to do.
exactly like you probably understand a little bit that there like it's like I have to be a like a
It's a human psychology.
it's
Yeah.
just like I don't like I know I'm a good dad. You know why I know I'm a good dad? Because I know my kid is excited when I come home. She'll always be like, "Oh, what did you get me?" Right? And I'm lucky I work at a job where they have candy everywhere, so I just steal candy from somebody's desk and I, whatever, and I bring it. And like I know she's grateful. I know she loves me. She'll kiss me. She says I love you all the time. But no matter what, as a dad, I'm just not gonna feel like I'm enough every fucking time, right? And the thing with this extra money that I'm making now, it's like I can buy my kid more toys, I can buy my kid more experiences, right? So sometimes, Christine, we even said it's not about toys, it's not about whatever, right? But we talked about it. I want to take my kid to Disney. I want to take my kid to Disney. I really do. I really want her to have a good time. I know how much that costs, and that's why I work as hard as I do to remember that I can. Now, of course, not taking her by March isn't like gonna change the bank. It's not gonna change it's not gonna be a problem. Like if I don't take my daughter to Disney by March, I didn't fail as a dad. I didn't fail as a dad. It just means okay, I gotta work a little bit more, and maybe I could take her in June. Maybe I could take her in August, September, December, whatever, right? But the thing is, there's always that conflict within me as a dad, as a father. That's just like I should be able to do this, right? Just like Christine, I know you had moments in your past where you felt like you could do more as a mother. And I would tell you all the time, you're doing great. You're doing. I was like, look at your kid. Look how happy your
You
kid
are
is.
enough.
You're more than enough. You do so much. But the thing is, no matter what we say, if you feel that way, I can't take that feeling away from you. And that's where I'm at as a dad. No matter what you guys say, and Morgan, yeah, I appreciate you saying you're a great human being, right? But even then,
Hmm.
these feelings in me, I like nobody, even you, Rose, like nobody can take that feeling away from me except for me. I have to fight to get that feeling out of me, just like you had to fight getting that feeling out of you, right?
Shift.
Of course, there's that support. Um, it goes back to that saying that I said about like you guys can be the backbone to me. You guys can hold me up. But if I don't want to stand on my feet, you guys can't save me from that. I have to stand up. I have to make that definitive decision, you know? But I do appreciate what you say about that. I do appreciate you saying that being happy is more important than money. Anything, everything and anything is more important than money. Um, and it
The
shouldn't cost my
most
peace.
important thing, also, right? I always recommend people to learn a little bit more on financial basics literature. I definitely recommend people to start looking at other ways of making money. Job is great. Job is always great. It's paycheck, it's steady. But is there something more that can bring you money? Like more? Like even kids selling lemonade outside. Kids being pictured in magazines, right? They make money. Mm, there's more that we can do, right? Like, I'm the type of person that I do and recommend like more ways of money. Like, even if I go, if like I collect every single receipt, there's an app called Fetch. I collect all the receipts. It gives me points. It gives me gift cards. I already collected $205. Maybe it took 2 years to collect them, but oh well. It's just snapping a receipt. Boom. Even if I do right now cleaning business, right? Who wants to clean toilets? And nobody wants to clean toilets,
No,
you
well,
know.
so
But I
yeah.
had another opportunity. Lady came and said, Oh, I have somebody. Can you? Yes, I can. Why? Because it's the other stream of income.
The
Okay?
the thing, I mean, I don't disagree with you, right?
It's
So
just my
there's
brain works like that.
no, and absolutely, and fairly so, right? Especially in the age we live now, where like everything's inflated, you need more money for everything and stuff like that, right? But outside of that, like, look at that reflection, right? So it's not about the fact that you take up, whatever that fucking toilet cleaning thing is called, right? But
Yeah.
it's not about Roses cleaning toilets. It's not that. It's Roses providing a service, right? And that's what you do to make what you want to do, right? And yeah, you can call it a job, you can call it a hobby, you can call it whatever you want. If it makes you money, whatever, right? Do what you want, whatever you want to do there. But my concern was, like, outside of all this, if I take the biggest step back in scope, it's like, what do you want, right? And for me, I just want to help people, right? And both jobs allow that, right? Which is great. But one job is kind of like struggling right now, and like, like, I'm, as far as what I do as a role to make the income that I'm making, I'm happy. I'm happy, right? But with what's happening in between on these things here, like, even who put me in perspective? Somebody put me in perspective, and they're like, what if you take this new job and it's the same story, right? And here's the thing, I didn't put it that way because it's a risk. It is, right? But is the risk worth the reward? And one thing my best friend Jazz has always said to me is, no risk, no reward. No risk, no reward, right? So it is a risk. It could be a bad situation again. It could be the same fucking shit all over again, just different names in a different place. It really could be, right? But here's the thing. If I don't take the leap of faith, especially if I feel good about the position, if I don't take a leap of faith, I won't know. I already see where I'm at now, and I already see how bad the situation is. But that can also flip too. In 2 months, maybe this job could be fucking perfect, right? And I am like, before I make my decision, I'm definitely going to talk about it with the right people more. So I'm going to talk about it with my management, that I know they're going to be like, you know, like, why are you leaving? You're betraying us, right? And here's the other thing, Rose. I know if I talk to you, if
It's
I
a
talk to anybody else,
manipulation.
yeah, with my management, yeah, which managers shouldn't be doing that. Managers should not be doing that. You know what managers should be saying? They should say,
Should be encouraging,
do what's best for you,
showing
right?
the vision. Yes,
And here's the
yes,
thing.
that's what it should be.
I know right now, talking to you, I know talking to my wife, I know talking to Morgan, I know talking to my client, the client that likes me. If I tell them I'm in this dilemma, what do I do? You know what they'll say to me? Do what's best for you. Do what's best for you. And here's the thing, I know my management won't say that. You know what my management will tell me? They'll tell me, if you leave, everything's gonna fall because of you. That's what they're gonna say to me.
Hmm.
You know?
And they're gonna keep telling you you're not doing enough.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
And at the same time, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Are they doing
Exactly.
enough?
They're doing nothing. To be honestly, like, this is not me talking shit. They're not doing anything at all. I'm gonna read a few comments, and I know you have to go, and I'm sorry that it ended at 12. So if you
That's
need to,
okay.
I was gonna say, if you need to go and do your thing, I was just gonna stay on for a few minutes more, and then just I'll close out. But if you need to go, just let me know. But I'm gonna read comments real quick.
Yes,
So catch up.
I'm okay for another 5, 10.
Yeah, I'll try to shut it down by then. So I think I went through the gist of
You
everything I
can
am.
you can stay. I just have this
Yeah, no, it's good.
master class on VA loans,
Yeah,
how to get
no,
VA loans through real estate. So it's kind of
yeah, no. You
learning,
definitely
constantly learning new
listen.
things.
You know how the podcast
Great
goes.
things,
When the conversations get passionate, when the conversations get hot,
and I
we don't want to
love it.
leave. We don't want to leave.
We don't want to live.
Christine says, it's also the pressure of being the sole financial provider, which won't be forever once I go back to work. And Morgan says, that may be so, Christine, but this time you're spending with Lily as she grows and learns is priceless. I think you two are doing it right. I honestly appreciate Morgan say that, because that's literally what I tell Christine. Because as much as she worries about the financial situation that I'm in and being the sole financial person, I couldn't be more proud of you being a mother to my daughter, because I just
Yes,
can't
a huge
believe,
drop.
I
True.
cannot believe the person Lily is becoming. I never pictured this. I never knew what kind of person Lily could be. But this kid, for a 3.5-year old, to be able to like get ready for the world, to be able to quote stuff from movies that she watches, sing songs, do dance moves, be goofy. You know, they say like the loudest kids are the safest kids. The kids that scream, sing, jump around, wherever they are, whenever they are, those are the safest kids. Because you know why? They feel safe where they are. They feel completely safe where they are, knowing that you're there.
She's
So,
expressing herself.
like my okay, okay, okay. So try not to cry. My biggest regret is not being able to spend as much time with my kid. You know, so my thing that I try to do is spend it through these experiences that I can get through the money that I make from working. Right. So whether it's going out to dinner, whether it's going out to lunch, which I was planning to do today, but I don't think the timing will work out. Whether I go out to experiences like we want to go to Disney, things like that. That's how I feel that I fit in and I contribute. Right. I know I spend time with her when she's at home. We'll watch movies, we'll play games, we'll play Mario Kart together, we'll do these silly things. And the thing is, I know I'm doing a good job because, okay,
It's a quality time. You're
if I,
providing a quality time.
but not just that, but if I knew I wasn't doing a like a good job, I could see that in my kid. My kid wouldn't come up to me. My kid wouldn't want to talk to me, right? But literally every living second, this kid wants to spend time with me, just like she wants to spend time with you, Christine. So you gotta understand that it is sometimes it is very annoying, right? Um, I try to fight the nights that she doesn't go to sleep, and Christine, I know you get mad when she doesn't go to sleep on time because that takes away our time. That takes away our solo time for us or our time together and things like that, right? But uh,
You're enough. You're doing
the
great.
they say so when Lily goes to sleep, she loves to talk about anything nonsense. She talks about her day. She asks for a story, and it's because like her version of winding down, her version of like this was a good day and I want to rest in peace is like I want to spend time with you as much as I can before I close my eyes. Well, that's what I came to learn. You know, like I watch all the TikToks and Facebook reels and stuff like that, and even like studies that like kids like they're not trying to fight you. Like they're not fighting you to to be
To go sleep.
rebellious. You know, they don't want to
Hmm.
be like I don't want to sleep because they don't want to sleep because they don't want to miss time with you.
Ah, but
So,
let's don't have. Let's not repeat my episodes. I'm just throwing that at everybody.
but
Okay, because
like honestly, like I just
accumulation of stress.
on the so yeah, like
Accept that.
it's
I'll take your angel.
I take a step back and I just look at it like Christine, you need to remember that, and I need to remind myself too that we're doing a good job. We're doing
Yes,
an absolutely fantastic job, and she's happy and she's
she's
doing
an
great.
amazing little girl. Very girly. Very
Very girly.
active.
Oh, she's manly at times, but she's very girly. Yes,
She's
she's the
amazing.
best
You
of
guys
both worlds.
are amazing. In your case, coming with job, just do exactly what makes you happy. If it makes you happy riding the train to get your phone, do that.
I know I'll make Morgan happen too, so she misses me. I would send her videos of trains and pictures of trains, and now I can send pictures of New York and stuff. So I'm sure she would appreciate it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess being able to talk about this out loud, I think I know what I want. I think I know
Yes.
what I want.
If you want to stay where you are, then everything needs to change. The structure, the communication, the team needs to
Thank
be
you, Megan.
more on board because nobody's on board. Everybody's for themselves. It's not a team. I don't
It's
see no team here,
one of the
right? Like I don't feel that like we team, we vibrate together, we get stuff done, we happy, we're doing
um
things together. I don't see that.
the one thing I struggle with is like accepting matters of that, right? But not only that, like I feel, and I think it's just like always been in me because maybe my upbringing and the way I've always been, when like I feel like I'm not able to do something, right? And this is clearly out of my control, right? This is clearly beyond me. But like, growing up, especially with strict parents, when I'm not able to do something, I feel like I failed people. And
Yeah.
I know here,
You
even
feel
me telling
guilt.
you, I feel the guilt of saying like I failed you, right? So even though I might do what's best for me and I might move on to this from this job, or change whatever, right? I feel like I let them down, and I know they'll come up to me like, no, you didn't, you're doing fine, right? And my manager might tell me otherwise. They'll be like, yeah, you did let me down, whatever, right? But like the thing is, even prior to this, like I've always felt that way, that I let people down when I'm not able to do something, right? And I don't know how to fight that. I don't know how to fight that. Like it takes time for me to get over it once I move on.
It's like a puzzle, and when the piece doesn't belong in that puzzle, and it's not your fault that that puzzle doesn't belong in there. Just find another puzzle to put it in. Put the pieces together. It's not your fault. You're not failing nobody. You gotta take a look at it from differently. Structure is not there. The communication is not there. The team vibration is not there. The management is not vibrating. It's not leading to the vision where it's supposed to be. The management should be doing things with you to lead you forward. And it's not there. And it's not your fault. You're not failing. You are trying to save the company. You're trying to do more than they actually need to be. You need to be doing. You're doing so much, and they are using you for that, making you feel guilty, giving you guilt trips, manipulating you. Oh, how come you're not doing enough? How about you do my job too?
Yeah,
Maybe you should do everyone's job, and
at
then they're
that
gonna
point.
love you,
Yeah.
right? So that's why what I'm saying is maybe it's enough. Enough is enough. Time to be happy. Write that train. Listen to the podcast. Have quality time with your daughter. Quality time with your wife. All great.
Yeah. No, I think I appreciate everyone's input. I really do. And I've been just like kind of going through the process and thinking about it, and I definitely need a perspective outside of my own, because we talked about the last podcast that the biggest enemy is your own mind, right?
Yeah.
Christine says, because you like to do for others and help them, you have to remind yourself again and again that your presence is enough. Like you said, people can tell you that, but you have to believe it for you. Yeah, yeah, no, I know, and
Yes.
I'm trying.
I'm here for you. Guys, I do gotta go.
Yes, I'll let you say your final words, and then I'll
But
say the things, and then
my
I'll.
final words, do what makes you happy. Don't stress out. Otherwise, your engine's gonna go out.
Yeah,
You don't want that.
amen.
Protect your engine, protect your mind, protect your peace. As we speak about for the last 3 episodes. If it's costing you peace, there's so many jobs in the world.
Yeah, and like I appreciate the whole money will come and money will go no matter what, but definitely protect your peace. And like again, I'm happy your health isn't as bad as it was and you got through it. So continue fighting that fight, and let me know if you need anything. All right.
Thank you guys. Have a motivated day. You stay here.
I'm saying no, I'm not going anywhere. I'll see you
You stay.
later, Rose. Take care. Okay,
You
love
stay.
you. All right.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Oh God. Okay, I needed that perspective. I won't say too much more. I have stuff to do. I want to have lunch because I'll talk about it just a little bit more, just so I can just. I guess I just want a little bit more clarity. I'm using a new webcam and I'm not liking it so much because it's emphasizing this weird light on me. Like the motion looks a little bit better, but like my color looks weird and I don't know how to fix that. I might need to use third-party software, which I'll figure out. But anyway, back to a little bit of what we're talking about. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's for 2 months at least, a constant 2 months. There's days where they'll praise me, and then there's days that they just berate me, and it was always more beration than support, you know. And I mean, I do what I can, but I know if I talk to my management, it's not gonna be a fun conversation, and they're gonna be like, don't do what you need to do. Like, if this project's not for you, that's fine, because one of the meetings I had with my management, they told me that I'm not worthy of my role. And I got so upset, and I said, okay, give somebody else my role. Uh Thanks, Larry. I'm sorry that she had left. Maybe it is running delayed. I gotta figure out why it is, but I will pass on your message, Larry, to Rose when I get a chance. But thanks for coming by. But yeah, like, I mean, I don't feel like I deserve that kind of beration, or that negative those negative comments. And you guys know I love driving. I love my cars, but I feel like I'm putting too much wear and tear on my car. And I don't like doing that. I want to drive my car to like drive my car. I want to drive my car for like reasons I want to drive my car. And I'm doing such small things, like so we have another coworker that works in my office as well. And he lives 6 miles from the job, and he doesn't have a car. He doesn't have any way of traveling, right? So he was Ubering to work, Uber, Lyft, whatever. 6 miles. You probably can't guess how much it's been costing him to travel 6 miles. Uber was charging him $30 one way for 6 miles. This is why northern Jersey is tough to work in, right? And the traffic is just atrocious. So I was like, if he takes $60 a day to travel, that's $300 a week, and that's plus or minus, tip, and maybe it costs less, whatever, right? But $300 a week to travel is insane. Some people go to New York and spend $300 a month for like the monthly, the pass or whatever. But $300 a week, and I was like, I can't let you do that. I'll do you the favor. It's costing me 30 minutes more of travel to pick him up and bring him to work. Now, I'm not blaming the time situation. I'm just trying to help him out. But I would even need him to tell my management, like, honestly, Sanjay's giving me a ride to work, and that's why things are working out. I'm saving money because of Sanjay, right? And I was telling him, listen, go to management and just be like, can you, what's the word I'm looking for? Not compensate. Can you, what I'm talking about, when they reimburse. Well, can you reimburse me for my travels for now until I figure out a better situation? And these are conversations that should have happened when he got hired. When I get offered a job, they ask me, do you have a reliable way to get to work? And if I said, well, I'll Uber every day, there was one job that I said, I think I had a job offer a very long time ago. I think they were paying me 13 or 14 an hour, very long time ago, for IT. And I told them, yeah, I could drive in. And they're like, oh, well, how far are you? And I was like, oh, I'm about 20 miles away. And they're like, you won't make much money working here. Like, they're like, you would be a good fit. You'd be a good tech. But with the cost it's going to cost you to drive to work and drive back home every day for this much salary, not salary, this much like hourly, it's not worth it. Like, that's a real conversation. So, I mean, this just goes to show, I don't think my management really asked these questions or went through any of this, and they just brought a person on board. And the only person that's actually fighting to make everything work is me. And I know if I dare say that, hey, I'm just gonna give my 2 weeks, like, I like to be as professional as humanly possible, so I want to give my 2 weeks. But I feel like if I give my 2 weeks, they're very petty that they might even let me go on the spot. But like, you know what? You want to leave? Get the fuck out of here. You know? And why would I want to work with people like that? Why would I want to work with people like that? Constructive criticism is one thing, beration is another. Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know what she said to me about that, Morgan? These comments, I'll figure out the delay, but that comment came in earlier. But you know what I gotta say about that is that every time I bring up the fact that I don't think she is doing things right You know what she says to me? She says, I've been doing this for 15 years. I know what I'm doing. Listen, I know people who have been doing things 20, 30 years, and there's still room to learn. There's still room to be wrong. And I'm like, you're not being humble at all. And you know the funniest fucking thing is that when I met her on day one, she had that aura, she had that presence, right? She had that presence that was just like so like I was like, I don't feel good about this person. Like she walked in with this like head tilted up, coffee in her hand. She was the last person to show up in the meeting. Like she had this presence, like like look at me, like I'm the best. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't feel right about this. I feel like you're also stressed because you left the other good job for this one. And with your experience, you know what good employees look like. Um, so Christine, I mean, I think yeah, we talked about my job experience. There was two jobs that I loved. The one in New York for the alcohol beverage company, and Gannett Fleming, the one that we bought my kid out to one time, right? And both of those jobs had to let me go. So before this, I worked for Transit as a contractor, NJ Transit, and it wasn't necessarily a it was a good job. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna berate that job. That it was a good job. My problem was that there's no growth there. So I could have stayed there making the money I made and just ride that through, but I want more. And I don't think it's wrong for me to want more. And I thought this opportunity would give me that. Like Christine, that job, I was answering phone calls. And I think if I recall telling you, I hated answering phone calls. I hated picking up the phone saying, hello, this is, whoever, Sanjay from the help desk. How can I help? Like, I don't know what it was. I just hated doing that. I like being the extra hand that's like, hey, we couldn't solve this issue. Let's bring in someone that can think outside the box. I like doing that stuff. But my last job, wasn't more of that. It was like I forgot my password, and I'm like, I was tired of doing password resets. Do I look at it now like, can I? What if I couldn't go back to my last job? Would I take it? Hell yeah, absolutely in a heartbeat. But I can't say for sure that that was like the job I wanted to stay at forever. And on top of that, I've been told from the recent person there that things are changing. But even more so, Christine, the last job. So I know you remember Jessica because you met her. So Jessica was another colleague of mine that worked at my first job that after I got let go from Gannett, my I'm not gonna say names. I'm sorry, but when I got let go of my first job for when they moved to MSP, I met a girl named Jessica who joined us, and we were stressed from that job. She got fired from that job sometime over the summer, and when I was about to leave NJ Transit, I told my manager, I was like, I have a person if you want to replace me. And she's like, and he was like, yeah, yeah. I mean, if you have a person to suggest, go for it. So I was like, okay, perfect. Yeah, yeah, please, please. So I helped Jessica get the job. So now she's working where I was, and it's a lot less stress, and it's perfect for her. She's actually literally like a mile away from the job, ironically. And I think she's doing good. And would I change it now? No, no. So if I was that miserable, because there was a point that they didn't hire Jessica yet because she was going through the interviews, and my manager was like, "Do you want to come back? Because we'll just bring you back. Like we'll disregard Jessica and we'll bring you back." And I said, "No, just bring in Jessica," because Jessica had no job. And I don't know, maybe it's maybe it's because of these Japanese shows that I watched and stuff like that. But I remember watching a show that I loved, and the guy was like a successful business owner, and then shit went south and he actually lost his business, and then he rebuilt the business again, but he passed it to his brother, and his brother's like, what are you gonna do now? And he's like, I'm just gonna do another business. I'll just start from scratch again, because he's like, he doesn't mind starting from scratch again. He has that confidence. He's like, we could do this again. I did it before, I could do it again. And I think that gave me the vote of confidence to be that type of person, that I could lose a job, I could disappear, right? They could just let me go. They could be petty and be like, Sanjay, you're not good enough, right? And the only thing I would be worried about is like, oh my God, I lost my job, but I'd save my money. But I would just try to land on my feet again, look for something better. In fact, one thing I was considering doing was like, if I were to get let go, if I were to lose my job, I would honestly just try to stream every day. Like, I don't think any of you have come by my gaming stream. gaming streams, but like I would stream sometimes at night and play video games. But honestly, I would just stream full time. I'll wake up at 9 o'clock, stream till 5 o'clock, and just stream, play video games, do whatever, talk to people, and I would do it for like 2 weeks and see how it goes. What I have nothing to lose there, you know. I have the money from my old job, and then I won't really spend money if I'm sitting at home, you know, working as you call it or streaming, right? So I'm not as worried, but I think the biggest challenge for me was the fact that like I just don't like playing like help. I don't like making. I don't like the feeling that I get that like I feel like I let people down, but I know I don't. That makes sense. Which you know, I guess I'm going back on, and that's Christine's comment about you know, like I love helping others. So if I feel like I can't help you, I feel like I failed you, right? And just like Rose said, I didn't fail anything. You know, failing would be that I didn't try and then I gave up. If I didn't try and then I gave up, that's failing. I'll admit that's failing. But if I tried my ass off, if I'm crying at the end of the night saying I don't think I'm good enough, if I'm crying that I'm not spending enough time with my daughter, if my daughter's telling me like you work too hard, you know, if I'm just so tired, if I'm passing out when I'm giving my putting my kid to sleep, right? I'm not failing anything. If the biggest thing I'm doing is failing myself, I'm not being real to myself. I'm not being content with. I'm not at peace with myself, and that's okay. I think I'm realizing that's my failure. I'm not being at peace with myself, and I feel like this job is doing that to me, and it's sad because the like honestly the job. Okay, I'm gonna take a step back. The job, what I do for the people at work, I fucking love. I love the people at work. It's I'll just say it's a Japanese company. I love that. I always wanted to learn Japanese. I'm using this as an excuse to learn Japanese. I love this. I love it. It's everything else that's hurting me, right? And I know that the client can't do anything to help me. I mean, I can have the conversation, but just like you guys are saying here in the comments, just like Rose said, at the end of the day, they're going to say, do what's best for you. I can't say I'll get better or worse here. You have to do what's best for you right now. If you're stressed, leave. Like take the opportunity you have in front of you, right? If you're stressed, go there. If you don't want to think about work after you finish work, go there. But as far as a person, as far as a technician, about how I do, I know they'd be proud of me. And I think that part I have to remind myself. I know they'll be proud of me. They would be very proud of me. But yeah, I just have to think about it. And I like um Rose said, like money, like you know, obviously if money is that much concern, we live in a world that we can have multiple ways of making income, just like streaming and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not too concerned about making the money or having the money saved, or you know, I obviously I can be smarter with my money. But this job did help a lot with money. It helped so much with money. I was able to make repairs to my car. I was able to buy stuff that I was falling behind on. I was able to pay bills that I was falling behind on. I was able to travel. I was able to do things, you know. And maybe I'll miss a part of this, but the thing is, I am also realizing in my own head that those times can come again. Those times can easily come again. So I have to just, you know, I gotta, like, if I sit here and ask myself, am I at peace? The answer is no. Which reminds me, I gotta make my podcast about my peace thing. Well, it's not gonna be a podcast, it'll be a YouTube series, but I gotta start all that. So I appreciate you all staying around here for an hour and 23 minutes. It looks like it shows. Actually, the time literally right now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so which is crazy. But I appreciate you guys sticking around and talking to me and giving me feedback. I appreciate the positive words and affirmation that you guys have given me. I do feel like there's a level of hope within me now. Like I feel better. I do. I really do. And I'll be honest, with the way things are going, I do hope this opportunity reaches out to me because I would love to work with this company. I won't say the name of the company, and I'll let you guys know on the side, obviously. But thank you, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate this, and I appreciate y'all, as I always do, and I've always did. I wish I could do more for Motivation Station. There's things I want to do, make more merch, make more beautiful backgrounds. I know right now I don't really change too much, but I don't have time. Like I'm so busy with work. I just kind of come in and do the podcast, even with guests and stuff. Like I try, like, I try to bring people by, but it's hard. But I'll definitely put more effort into it. But I appreciate you guys helping me, being there for me, loving me. You guys are the true VIPs in my book. And I appreciate you guys spending the time with me on this Saturday. And I hope you guys come back next week. Um, and next week can be our Thanksgiving episode. I'll double check it with Rose. But next week we'll do Thanksgiving before Thanksgiving because the Saturday after, we'll be able to do the podcast by I'm doing my Friendsgiving, but I want to go over the stuff that I'm thankful for first. So for next podcast, we will talk about the things that we are absolutely grateful for. So come by and definitely please share stuff that you guys are grateful for. And then, we'll have a good time. But until then, guys, I hope you guys have a motivated day and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.